Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for an experience like no other. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for The Mary D. Show, where the ordinary meets the extraordinary. The Mary D. Show brings you powerful insights and inspiring stories from a diverse range of guests. Join our incredible host, Mary D. Welch, as she sits down with thought leaders, business owners, and changemakers, sharing their journeys and successes. From career professionals and entrepreneurs to educators and beauty advisors, Mary D. Welch interviews sports figures and health enthusiasts, offering a platform for extraordinary voices. Explore the world of extraordinary people and places in business and finance, homes and real estate, beauty and wellness, education and empowerment, sports and health, and more. Want to be a guest on the show? Call 619-669-8603 or email marydwelch.com. Visit www.marydwelch.com to learn more.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mary D. Show. For those of you that are new, welcome to the show. And those of you that I call super fans, welcome back, super fans. The super fans are here really, they come weekly. They pop in, pop out, but the super fans, I can't thank you guys enough. I'd like to also say hi to our executive producer. Hi, babe. That's Oliver Wells. Those of you that know, that's my husband. He's in the background making things happen. I can tell you for a fact, the show would not go on without Oliver being back there. He critiques, he's supportive. I tell you, what would I do without Oliver? I don't know what I'd do, but anyway, but he's there in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you today we have a fabulous guest on the show. I'm really excited because this lady, I know you hear the term doctor and we think, I don't know about you, but I'm hearing it more and more. But this lady, this is the OBGYN doctor. Nothing against the educational doctorate. I don't want to sound negative, people, okay? Because people call me Dr. Mary, or Dr. Welch. So I'm not saying anything negative, but I'm saying this is a medical doctor. That's a difference. And you don't always find African-American women or African-Americans, period, in the medical field, and not always doctors. So we are honored to have her. But not only is she MD, she's going into the choppy waters, or what do they call it? The shark-filled waters of politics. And I don't say that lightly. I say it because, everybody knows politics can get ugly. That's all there is to it. But when you have someone that's dedicated and dedicating their life to it, it really says a lot about them. So what I'm going to do right now, ladies and gentlemen, is not just introduce Dr. Tiffanie to you. I'm going to read you her bio because I feel that it kind of gives you an idea of who we have in the room today. We are very, very honored to have her. So just a moment. And I apologize. Many of you know I've had a cold for like 2 weeks. My voice is almost back, but it's not quite there. But I'm hanging in here. So, okay. Originally from Compton, California, Dr. Tiffanie Tate is a Christian mother, a servant leader, listener, and medical doctor who resides in Riverside with a heart for service. Her interest in becoming a physician began when in middle school, while volunteering with church to help feed the homeless in Los Angeles. She saw people who were both hungry and sick. She wanted to do more than serve food. She wanted to help them in a meaningful way. She earned a Bachelor's of Science degree from the University of California at Santa Barbara. Her major was cellular and developmental biology with a Black Studies minor. Her medical doctorate degree was earned at Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. She joined the Navy while in medical school, and it was one of the best decisions she ever made. She completed her internship at National Medical Center, San Diego, and then she went on to serve the fleet. After serving as a general medical officer in the United States Navy during the global war on terrorism, she returned to her training. She completed her residency in obstetricians, I think I said that wrong, and gynecology at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. She practiced in both Tennessee and California before sustaining a life-altering injury. Wow, she's going to share that with us. She has served as a volunteer within the local community churches and her sorority, providing lectures to students, family practice residents, and in numerous places where she lived. She began writing poems as an outlet, and after she was medically retired following her 6 surgeries over 2 years following the injuries. Wow. She wrote her first book, I think it's Flower Tree. I'll let her make sure that I say that correctly. A collection of 108 poetic flows on life, love, and liturgical issues to help encourage and uplift herself and others. Bad Touching, her second book. Her first children's book teaches children about abuse. Her third book and second children's book, titled Little Engine, Mia Sings, addressing bullying. Her fourth book, a third children's book, Money Matters, teaches children about saving, tithing, and investing. Her fourth book, Perfectly Perfect, that teaches children about body language. She is currently a co-host of the once weekly show on the NBC Morning podcast radio show, Doctors in the House, every Wednesday morning on the AM 1050 FM 106.5. And if you miss it, you can catch it anytime on replay over YouTube. She is a leader who values health and family issues, a community advocate with excellent insight on healthcare, women's health, veterans issues, and family well-being. She has a personal story of resilience and an emphasis on education and health equity, and will serve the constituents over special interests. She is the best candidate to bring professional expertise, lived experience, and a service-oriented approach to policymaking. You can learn more about her and her platform by visiting her website. And I'm going to put her website in the chat so you guys can all have a chance to meet that. Ladies and gentlemen, make that copy first. And I'm going to welcome to the stage Dr. Tiffanie Tate. Hello, Dr. Tiffanie.
Hello.
How are you?
I am happy to be here. Thank you for bringing me on your show. Welcome, listeners. I'm looking forward to sharing my story of hope, encouragement, and resilience.
Yes, just reading. I do want you to talk about yourself, but the injury part was like, wow. What happened?
Well, I went to work, and while at work, I was walking out of a trailer, and I had a fight with a stairwell, and the concrete won. And yes, I am a disabled veteran, so I already had some injuries from my time in the military service. And I did a swan dive onto the concrete. And as a physician, I worked injured, but the concrete injured both my wrists, both my knees, and both my ankles. But at the time, I was still working and we were short positions. So I worked injured for about 2 years. And when it got, and I was in like bilateral wrist braces, bilateral ankle braces, bilateral knee braces, and I was receiving steroid shots in all those joints while working injured. And at that time, I was talking to the chief resident saying, listen, I can't go no more until I got to the point where I had to have surgery. And so I really wanted to get back to my patients. Now, as a physician, I would tell my patient, don't do what I'm about to tell you to do. So I tried to overlap my surgeries, and I talked to my orthopedic surgeon. I was like, listen, let's come up with this plan. If I do my surgeries like every 3 months, I can get back to work like say in a year. So let's just overlap these recoveries and let's just make this happen really, really quickly, because I wanted to just hit it and quit it. That's my mind, not my practical physician talking to a patient, but me as a physician saying, I can do this. Because prior to my surgeries, I would speed walk half marathons. I have like this big thing, like because I'm a bling junkie, and that's what my awards say. It says bling junkies. I have like over 15 half marathon medals, and
Wow.
so yeah, that's my thing. And so because I'm a finisher, I love to accomplish goals. So if you tell me to do something, I'm gonna get it done.
Good for you. Good for
Mm.
you. But I'm just listening to this. I mean, and what happened when you overlap those surgeries?
Yeah, that's the bad part. So, so yeah, don't do the sidebar. Don't do what I'm about to tell you what I did. This is a cautionary tale, so I'm going to preface this. Cautionary tale, folks. Cautionary tale. Do not do this. Bad Tiffany. Shame on you. I get the finger. The shame on you finger. Okay. So, um, so I did my first surgery, my first knee surgery. Okay, all right. Good. Things go well. I did my second knee surgery. Post-op day 10, I ended up in the hospital. Um, couldn't breathe. I'm sitting in the car. My son's at band practice at Martin Luther King High School. My daughter and my husband, when the husband is ex-husband, my husband, they're in the, he was my husband at the time. They're getting a smoothie, and I'm sitting in the car because I can't really get out and walk around. I've had knee surgery. I'm post-op day 10, and all of a sudden I can't breathe. I'm gasping for air, so I'm gripping the little thing, and I'm like, and I'm trying to signal them like, hey, I can't breathe. And they're like, la di da, getting their little froyo and smoothie. And I'm like, hey, I'm in the car here. We got to go to the hospital. So when they get in the car, they freak out. So they whisk me to the hospital. And while I'm sitting in the ER, my oxygen saturations drop. Yes, and that's a bad thing because you should be at 98 to 100, but my oxygen saturations would, when I would speak, would drop to like 40s and 30s and 50s, and that's a bad sign, people. That's a bad sign. So they couldn't let me go home. They ended up keeping me for observation overnight, and they really couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So then every time I would try to get up and walk, it would drop again. And so eventually they ended up diagnosing me with postoperative pericarditis, which is not a good thing. And so I ended up having to get a hospital bed, and it was just all downhill from there. But that still didn't stop me. I
What?
was like, I know, right? Bad Tiffany, bad Tiffany. I said, okay, that's fine. I talked to my orthopedic wrist surgery, my surgeon. I was like, well, can I still get my wrist surgery? He was like, yeah, that's fine. That's just your knee. It has nothing to do with your wrist. If you want it, we'll still do it. He was
Oh my
hyping me up.
God.
He gaslighted me. He was like, you can do it, Tiff. You can do
Oh
it.
my gosh.
And I was like, okay. So he put me, they put me on steroids and everything for my heart. They were like, well, we'll get that under control. So I was on steroids and baby aspirin and all this stuff for my heart. So we still went ahead and went with my wrist surgery because I was like, well, I'm still going to be out recovering for my knee. I might as well get my wrist done because I'm trying to get back to my patients. I don't want you, the people, to suffer just because my body won't behave. So let's go for it. Let's just get her done. And so I went ahead and went forward with my wrist surgery. Well, it turned out that all those medicines would not let my wrist heal. It just wouldn't heal. So my right wrist doesn't bend. My left one bends, but this one won't bend.
Oh
So
my goodness.
it was like, okay, it was frozen. They were like, well, it's kind of stuck that way. Too bad for you, but are you ready to go with your other wrist surgery? And I was like, well, I don't know. They said, well, that was just that wrist. You're having issues with it. We still think it's
Oh
good.
my goodness. And your knee is still healing all this time.
Yes, but they've recovered. They're doing well. I was looking at them with a side eye, but as a surgeon, I know that there are risks and benefits with each surgery. And so I was like, well, I'm out anyway. I might as well go ahead and get everything fixed so that by the time I go back to work, I'm playing the odds games. And so I'm like, okay, let me just get it all done so that I can go back to work and be on tip-top shape. So I'm playing the odds ratio. So I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to trust you. Just let me do this. And it was interesting because I ended up writing, because when I was in the hospital and I had that post-op pericarditis, they called a respiratory code and they debated on intubating me. And now
Oh my
Prior
goodness.
to that, I know it was so dramatic. Prior to that, I was in the hospital that I worked at on
Mhm.
the floor that my mother died in, at a diagonal from the room that my mother died on. So I had my come to Jesus moment, or Jesus had his come to me moment. So I began to navigate and rationalize with God. And so I was like, okay, God, I know that I said one day I would write my autobiography. And I know that I haven't done that. I
Yeah.
said, so if you save my life right now, I will write my autobiography. And so when I got out of the hospital, I never wrote my autobiography. I started writing these poems. And so this is called Flowetry, 108 Poetic Flows on Life, Love, and Liturgical Issues. And liturgical are like your religious
Oh,
issues. It's like, okay, all right, Lord, what are we doing? Are we really doing this? And so I was kind of like debating. And at that time, we had the Black Lives Matter movement going on, and I had my issues with my husband. And so there's a lot of love roller coaster issues going through right there. And you see this tug of war in life and love and religion. It's like, okay, is this what we're doing? No, this is not what we're doing. And I was like, okay, Lord, I really don't know what's happening. So when I got out, I started writing. And I started writing these poems. I was like, okay, Lord, I don't know what this is, but this is not an autobiography, but I'm gonna keep doing it because this is what you
yeah.
have me doing. And I
And,
thought this was just
and
crazy.
I don't mean that to stop you. I'm gonna have to, because you have comments in here, and
Oh,
the audience is like, we want to enter. We got stuff we need to say to.
oh, please stop me because I'll keep going.
No, I'm listening to this. And none of this audience that I know before the tag. So I'm sitting here, my mouth is just wide open because I can't believe you've been through all that. I'm looking at you, beautiful lady. Never would have guessed you went through a splinter in your hand, and you're talking about major surgeries.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, we have. Okay, let me say this. Let me get this. I see a comment. I saw the comment now. I was like, okay, the comments are coming in, and I don't want to ignore it because we have, Jerry Foxtel Caters. That must mean you must be AKA.
Yes.
How did I guess? Because I know Jerry. Hi, Jerry. Hello. And Jerry says, yes, she is amazing. Oh, and so are you, Jerry. You're amazing too.
Yes, I love Jerry.
I do too. I do too. That's why I want to make sure. I said we got to get these comments in. But I'm listening to you going. I'm in awe. Let me say that. I mean, because what you're really saying, all your attention was on your patients, not realizing you were a patient.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that hindsight is 2020, and a
Yeah.
lot of times we have to take the time to heal for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think we as women, even in our own households, we
Yeah.
take care of our partners, we take care of our children. We
Yeah.
will put everyone else's needs above our own, and we will
Right.
even sacrifice our own peace, our own sanity,
Mm.
and not get our own rest. And it took me dealing with all of that to come full circle. And even when it came to this, I wasn't even going to publish this. One of my friends was like, Tiffanie, after she read it, she was like, this really helped me. You should publish this. And I was like, no, I'm a surgeon. I'm not a writer. I'm not an author. I'm not a poet. She's like, no, seriously, I think this will really help people. And I was adamant. I was like banging on the table, like, no, I'm not going to do it. And I put it to two publishers, and they both wanted to publish it. And
Wow.
I really had to come to the Lord, and I was like, okay, I guess it will help people. And people who have read it have said it has helped people.
Wow.
And I'm thankful that I was obedient to do
Yeah.
it, because it really does encourage, it really does uplift. And some people use it as their daily meditation.
Mm.
So I think it's good with being obedient. And no, I still haven't written my autobiography because my story is still being written.
And I tell you, we have some of our illustrious audience members. They want to tell you hello, and that's Gwen. Gwen is a cousin. Hi, Gwen.
Hi,
She wants to
Gwen.
tell you hello. And then we have another comment. This is from Nanette. Hi, Nanette.
Hi,
Hello,
Nanette.
Nanette. I think I owe you a book, Nanette. I think I do. But remind me. Don't. I think I asked you for your address because we did books last week. So I had a book giveaway. And then we have here, is it Dr. Brenda Pratt? Thank you for appearing, Dr. Tiffany. Oh, thank you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Brenda.
And then we have our executive producer, Oliver. Oliver says,
Hello.
hi, Dr. Tate. Welcome to the show. We thank you for your story and your input. Also, thanks to repeated audience and new ones. Thank you all. I told you guys, Oliver, he's in the background, but he's always there. And then we have Annette. She has a comment, and then I just want to make sure we get them in. She said, "Oh my God, my daughter went through a major break in her ankle and surgery. I made sure she did not be the strong Black woman, not perpetuating that myth. I am shocked at how doctors can be at times. I think what happens is when you're a doctor, I have always heard doctors are the worst patients.
We are terrible, absolutely terrible.
I have heard that my whole life. So
and nurses, doctors and nurses.
Yes. What's up with that? With you guys?
Because
know too much.
Yeah, absolutely. We do. Isn't it's like, okay, well, that's for other people and not for us. And I think now I know I'm a much better patient now than I was then because and I think it's important because I always say I've been on both sides of the scalpel. I've been on both sides of the speculum. And I think that that's important. And that's one of the reasons I think I'll make an excellent legislator because I want to go to Sacramento and make sure that I can advocate for the people in such a better way to make healthcare more affordable, more accessible, and to make sure people have their needs met in a more efficient and effective way.
So why state senate? Let me ask you that.
Well, it's very interesting because initially I was going to run for Congress, and I looked at how things were going, and I saw that this person was running unopposed, and there were so many of us running for Congress, and it didn't make sense to have one person running unopposed.
Right.
And if you look at how things work, local politics can be affected more efficiently and effectively than federal politics. And I retired in 2019. I am coming out of retirement to do this job.
Now, a lot of people like to be retired.
Well, remember, I was medically retired.
Okay,
and so
look like somebody that's retired at all. So
and I'm coming out of retirement to do this job. Now, I specify where I did my training because I joined the military when I was in medical school. So my home of record is Nashville, Tennessee. And I think it's interesting because when I joined the military, I took an oath to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And when I became a physician, I took an oath to do no harm and to always help people. And as I see the current state of things, I feel compelled. Now we can sit around and complain about the situation and the state of things, or I can actually do something about it.
Right.
And I've always been the type of person.
You're doing something about it. You're not as my children, they're not children, they're adults, and they say, don't talk about it, be about it.
Absolutely. And that's who I've always been. I can't just sit around and talk about it. I believe actions speaks louder than words.
Right.
And so when I look at the state, that's why I have to do something.
I'm applauding you because you do. The people will complain and complain, but they won't run for office. I mean, let's not even go that far. Let's just go to city council meetings, go to school board, just be present, be in the room when decisions are made. All of those things, we'd be amazed with how we can change things by just being present.
Yes, the mayor of Riverside knows me. I know her. I've had lunch with her. I've been to city council meetings. The city council members, they're aware of me. And I try to be active. And I'm active in the local Democratic clubs. They know me in the surrounding Democratic clubs. I've been endorsed by the state Democratic Party. I've been endorsed by the Women's Legislative Caucus. I've been endorsed by the Black Legislative Caucus. I've been endorsed by the Young Democrats. I have multiple endorsements, and I think it's important because it's going to take community. Because it's
Yeah.
nice to have endorsements, but the votes is votes that matters. Endorsements help.
Yes, I agree. You have another comment here. This is from, I didn't see who it was from. It's from Nanette. Okay, I'm sorry. It was the same one. I thought it was a different one. I'm just listening to you as to all, like you said, endorsements, fine, well and good, but it's going to come down to those votes.
Oh yeah.
Come down to
It-
the
it-
votes. And from what I understand, as far as Senate for the state, is it 4 years or 6 years?
It's four. For
Okay.
state senate, it's 4 years,
Okay.
and I think it's imperative because a lot of people, as I've canvassed, as I've gone door to door, as I've spoke with voters, some people say, "Oh, I don't vote," or, "Oh, I don't vote down ballot." And the sad part is that these issues affect everyone. And
Yeah.
so it's going to be important to mobilize people to get them out, to get them voting and vote early. Because I don't know if you saw the shenanigans that happened in other states, especially in Texas. They
Yeah.
changed the hours, they changed the polling
Yeah.
places, and you will not be able to mail your mail in ballot the day of and have it count. You have to vote early. And if you're going to vote late, you have to vote at the polling place.
And I know normally we mail ours in, but we do vote early though, because we get the text message back, your ballot's been received and all, but at the same time, unfortunately, it has in our, and I cannot believe I've seen, in our generation, that the minute you hear someone in leadership say that somebody cheated, it has almost really destroyed the just trusting the system. And I've actually heard someone tell me I'm never voting again. I've heard them say that, and I'm like, are you kidding? I can't believe that. Well, I will always vote. My people
Mhm,
have died so I can vote. So I will.
mhm.
I'm a voter. I'll say that.
And so when you get that response, the question is, why do you feel that way? And what will make you change it? And have them, see if they're willing to have a discussion
Mm-hmm.
and see if they're willing to explain themselves. And it's okay. It's not like you're challenging them. Just see if they're willing to have a conversation because that's the only way we're going to help people to grow. And I think if we just start to talk with people a little bit better and a
Uh-huh.
little bit more, we'll be able to communicate.
I agree. I agree. Well, I know this is. I'm listening to you because I'm like, what I think. Well, no. Number one, I have no desire to be in public office, but I so appreciate people that do. I really do. I really appreciate that you want to represent when you don't have to. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not you're doing it out of a desire to help the community because you see a need. And this is an opportunity at this time. I think we vote with June 2nd.
June 2nd and November 3rd, because it's just the two of us. I will be in the primary and the general. And so, what I need people to do, I need people to number one, vote, bring a
Mhm.
friend to vote, and to donate because I need to be able to send out mailers because a lot of people are not aware of when the election is and that they need to vote and how important it is because people look at those numbers to see if my campaign is viable and whether or
Mhm.
not they're going to support me. And I think it's important just because my name is on the ballot does not necessarily mean that they take me seriously as a candidate. And sometimes they will just dismiss me. And the reality is as you saw in Texas, African American female candidates get outspent significantly. And
Yeah.
we really have to support our candidates like me, no matter what my resume is. The fact that I'm a physician who is a surgeon, and we are very rare. The fact that I am also a veteran officer of the United States Navy. I am an author. I am an educator. I teach the family practice residents in Temecula. I also go into the elementary schools and help to mentor the youth. I also volunteer within the community. I'm a trustee at my church. I do a lot of stuff within the community. And so I'm always giving back. My resume is very long. I can go on and on. I sit on the organizational board for an organization called Momentum Park to help improve maternal morbidity and mortality for pregnant moms in the peripartum and interpartum care. And so I think it's important for us to look at what it is you want and where you want where you want California to go. If you want someone in Sacramento to help improve the state of California, we need more physicians there.
Well, tell, I know your area for the 32nd district encompasses what area?
It is a nice chunk of change. It crosses 4 different counties. It crosses Yorba Linda,
Mhm.
which is the Orange County portion, Chino Hills, which is the San Bernardino portion. It crosses some of the rural parts of San Diego County. And when it comes to Riverside County, it's Norco, parts of Corona, and it goes from Riverside County, the city of Riverside, parts of Riverside, all the way down to Temecula. So you're
Wow.
looking at, yeah, like Lake Elsinore, Wildemar, Menifee, all the way down to Temecula.
Wow. That's huge.
Yes, it's a
Wow.
nice piece, but
Really good.
everybody, it's only the registered voters. So the people who are registered, you know who you are. If you're not registered to vote, please get registered to vote. Have a say in what happens to your life.
And some people don't even realize they think they are registered, but if you have moved, you have to re-register. And if you get married and your name changed, all of those reasons you have to re-register. And you can go to
Mhm.
the county and register, just go right there and change the form. But for some reason, I actually don't know why people don't. They I think it may take a lot for them to do it, so maybe that's why they don't do it. So I feel like it's
Mhm.
too much. A few years ago, our son was what they call petitioners, and so I did it with him. My husband and I wanted to know what was this petitioning all about. I was amazed. It was literally 50% of people would come up and tell me they were registered, and they were not.
Yeah.
50%. And I remember I actually kept track because I wanted to know, how many people that said they would say, "Oh, I'm already registered." And I said, "Okay, let me just look you up really quick." And we did it. You can do it on your phone, on your cell phone. 50%. So that's every other person that thought they were registered was not. And so
Yeah.
you want to make sure you're registered prior to. There's so many laws changing. I think California you can register the day of, but I wouldn't push it. I
Mhm.
want to get registered long before that. So
And you
definitely.
can also get a provisional ballot if you have any significant issues the day of. Now, whether or not it gets counted, I don't know. But I would say go ahead and check early. That way
Mhm.
you know you're good.
Yeah.
But if you have significant problems and they try to deny you the right to vote, you can
Mhm.
get a provisional ballot so you can vote on the day of the election.
Well, Dr. Tiffany, how did joining the Navy during medical school change your personal and professional trajectory? How did that do it? You
I'm sorry,
joined.
say again.
How did joining the Navy change your personal and professional trajectory?
Oh, wow. So it was interesting because when I told my momty, and I call her, my maternal aunt who raised me because both of my biological parents struggled with addiction. So my maternal aunt, momty, when I told her I was joining the military, she was so cute. She was like, "Oh, Tiffany, we support the military. We don't necessarily join it." I was like, "No, I'm actually in the Navy now. I'm joining it." And
So,
so,
mhm,
when I joined the Navy, because I love the ocean, I had the opportunity. You go in as an officer, and I thought I was going to travel and see the world. And so, growing up, in Compton, LA area, and then going to UC Santa Barbara, um, after graduating, they sent me to Ventura.
wow,
Yes,
wow,
wow,
what a
yeah,
letdown! Because
yeah. So
you can see the world with the Navy.
yeah, I thought I was gonna I did my internship at Naval Medical Center, San Diego in obstetrics and gynecology, and they were like, "Where do you wanna go?" And I thought I was gonna go to Okinawa, I thought I was gonna go to
Mhm.
Guam. Nope, LA, Ventura, Santa Barbara. I was like, "Oh, joke's on me." Uh, but it was really nice because we ended up, having 9/11 and, going to war, but I had my daughter at that time. So, I figured this would be a good time for me to, extend my family. So I went ahead and got pregnant, and I had a baby. I figured since I'm gonna be stateside, I decided to have a baby. And, at the time when we had 9/11, I
Mhm.
was pregnant. So I was extra hormonal.
Yeah.
And so it was very interesting. And I have a lot of friends who are still active duty right now. Some of my corpsmen, I had the opportunity to mentor them, nurses and teach them, and we're still friends today. And it was definitely a difficult time because I lost some people in the war, but and
Mm-hmm.
one of them, they're on a plaque here in downtown Riverside. One of my corpsmen, HM2 Alan Espiritu, may he rest in peace. And so but it was definitely a very tumultuous time. I have some friends for life, and I think because I was able to extend my family, I thought, okay, all right, I had my son when I was in medical school. I always had my life planned out, but I said, okay, if I have to stop training, I think
Uh-huh.
I might have a baby, or I might do it after residency, or I'm always planning. I'm a planner, and so when I went to Ventura to be
Uh-huh.
with the Seabees, and the Seabees, that's the construction battalion. They build, they fight. And so I really enjoyed my time there. And so I essentially became a doctor who was also a teacher for my fellow sailors. And
Right.
it was great.
Wow. It's like, I don't know why I automatically thought that you traveled. I didn't even think about it. I'm thinking, wait a minute, if you're in the Navy, almost that's going to be a given. But like you said, the joke was on you, huh?
Yeah, yeah. But it was so interesting because a lot of times people think, okay, well, you have to be deployed to contribute, because
Yeah.
I was even recognized for my work during the war. I received a letter of appreciation, commendation letter from the captain, because all of those people who were deployed had to be activated. And so after being working in the clinic, we would go to this big warehouse and activate all of those people. And sometimes we'd be there till like 11 or 12 o'clock at night, and then turn around and then go work in the clinic the next day.
Wow. So you know what's going on as far as well, I say know what's going on with Iran and all.
Hmm.
I cannot imagine. I do pray for that whole situation and those lives that are literally being lost daily, both whether they
Absolutely.
be there or Americans. There's still a loss of life to me. That's how I look at it.
It is, and I pray for our service members because they are given orders and they are just following their orders. And even for the people who are surviving, there's a thing called survivor's guilt.
Yeah,
And there's the people who are losing their lives, and then there are the people who are not losing their lives. And they all come back with PTSD.
I know. I have a cousin that's in. She retired. She was in the Air Force, and she was offered a promotion if she was willing to go overseas, and she said no. She said no. I'm good, and she said I not that she didn't want to go. She said I've seen too many people come back with PTSD, and
Mhm,
that's she's a nurse. She's in nursing,
mhm.
and that was the reason. She said that's the only reason. I would have loved to go if I had seen people, come back normally. But when you're serving, you are the property of the U.S. government.
Yes, you
So
are.
that's when you're that's your duty assignment to go. You can't say no. So
No, you cannot.
yeah, it's hard. I admire people that do. I really do, and I like to thank you for your service too. Because
Thank you.
I know it hasn't been easy, but I also wanted to know, how do you integrate faith with medicine? How does that work?
It was definitely a great experience. A lot of my patients really enjoyed it because I would ask them if they wanted me to pray with them before surgeries, and
Mhm.
sometimes they would like it because I was gonna pray no matter what. Because I'm like, Lord, help me. And it was funny. I remember my very first C-section. My attending, he was very cynical. He was like, "I hope this isn't gonna take forever." I was like, "Dear God, I hope it won't either." So it was definitely a wonderful experience for me, and I think when it comes to taking care of patients and
Mhm.
performing surgeries. And that's one of those things I love about women's health and performing GYN surgery and delivering babies. It's like you're the first person to bring life into this world. It's like
Yeah.
from God's hands to your hands to the parents' hands. How
Mhm.
beautiful is that? I'm like, I think my specialty is the best specialty in the world. Sorry, all you other doctors. Um, don't be jealous. Don't hate. But yes, I feel that obstetrics and gynecology is the best specialty in the world.
Wow.
And just to bring life into the world, there's no other gift
I know
better.
it's beautiful. I just think well, I was telling when I talked to my cousin, the nurse, I told her I would have gone into the medicine field, to in medical field, but I was, afraid of blood. And she said, she was telling me, she goes, Mary, it's not that much blood. I said, but in my mind, when I think of that field, that's what I think of. She said, it is not like that at all. But you think, I don't know, but that's what I was thinking. But I went into education, but I'm good, and but I always
Mhm.
admire people in that field.
Yeah.
What specific policies would you prioritize to improve health equity for the underserved communities in Riverside and beyond?
When it comes to making sure that we have health equity for the IE, you have to understand that the Inland Empire is a healthcare desert currently.
Wow, no, I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah. Currently, it's a healthcare desert. I believe UCR did a study. They haven't done a new study, but there's the last study they did showed that the IE is a healthcare desert. The physician patient ratio was like 1 to 9,000. And with that bill that this current administration passed, um, decreasing the amount of student loans available for people who are pursuing medicine. It's making people who want to study and become physicians less accessible. And then declassifying nursing as a profession is
Mm,
making it less appealing and making it harder for them to pursue that as a profession. So that's a problem. Now you also have to look at the fact that nurse practitioners and physician assistants, they need
mm,
to be supervised by physicians. So these are all problems in and of itself. As a physician, I understand that. Now,
right.
going to Sacramento, you need somebody who understands that and who has supervised nurse practitioners, nurse midwives, physician assistants. I've done it in private practice, I've done it in the military, and I've done it in academic medicine. So these are all the things that you want to look for in a legislator because, like I said, I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been a patient and I've been a provider. And now I want to be your next legislator to make sure that we have laws to make sure that these positions are protected and the funding is there to make sure that the academics are protected so that we have people who will have the funding to get the education and that they will stay in the area and practice in the area. That's number one. So we need access and that way and we can have it affordable. So I would like to see more telemedicine here, and I would like to see more mobile clinics here
Yeah.
because that will help to provide for people in rural areas and people in urban areas. And then we can kind of expand it out and maybe have access to more doulas and different things like that because
Mhm.
everybody doesn't necessarily want to be in hospitals, but
Yeah.
they definitely need adequate supervision. But you have to have providers to provide the supervision because if
Yeah.
you don't have providers, then you won't have it. I was talking to a voter who
Yeah.
said that who was also a provider who said that they treated a patient who had zero prenatal care because it was an hour away just to access prenatal care. It
Oh
wasn't
my
that she didn't
God.
want it, it was just that she couldn't access it because prenatal care was an hour away from her home. It doesn't make sense. In America, the maternal morbidity and mortality is horrible, and that's why I'm on the Momentum Park board because we want it to be more accessible. But the sad part is that Momentum Park is not big enough to be in every city across America.
Mhm.
We're working on it, but we're not there yet. But
Yeah.
what I can do is become a legislator to take care of the people in our district, and then we can try to expand it to make it better for everybody throughout the state of California.
All right. And this is a comment that just came in, and it is Dr. Tate, I love your faith, your walk, journey, and mission. Thank you, Brenda. I think it's Dr. Brenda, if I'm not mistaken. I keep saying there's something about it's ringing in my ear that it's Dr. Brenda, but
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Brenda,
Yes,
or Dr. Brenda.
I think so. I could be wrong, but I always try to err on the side of doctor anyway. Um, how do you plan to engage and collaborate with community organizations, churches, and schools to advance public health and education?
Well, I believe it takes definitely a coalition. And I'm already a trustee at my church, and I've already been going and speaking in various community churches. And while working with different school boards and making sure you work with different organizations like CTA and different affiliations, I think it's easy to make sure you have that. Coalition building. And as long as there's open communication, we can make sure that the students get what they need and the teachers get what they need. Because if we don't invest in our teachers and the students and make sure that they have the necessary resources, we're at a loss because they
Mhm.
are the future and they will be taking care of both you and I in the future.
And the future will be, I mean, it's here really. We are really this in this state where we are. I feel like we're in an emergency situation.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
mean that, like you said, with student loans, I think didn't they require students to start paying their loans back, or I don't know, coming after them, or so. It was something that was really scary for kids to you know and hurtful. I think because they're at this where our country is right now, everyone is struggling. There's not like you can say, oh no, you're doing good. I'm not saying people aren't, but I think a lot of people are really struggling under this economy. So how do you make ends meet? How can we help the next generation? That's what I would say. How do we do that?
I think when it comes to the economy and it comes to student loans, you look at what the people in federal government, I don't believe in
Mhm.
tossing names. I'm just going to refer to them as the federal government.
I like
I'm not going to name names. When you look at what the federal government has done for ICE and forgiving their student loans, we can forgive local people's student loans by having them go in and do different volunteer work and making sure that they give back to the community in different ways. Because
right.
if you can forgive their student loans for doing violent activities, we can have people loans forgiven for doing positive things within the community. And so I think if we kind of spin it and make sure that we have people working to uplift the community and support the community, each one teach one so we can all reach some, I think we can help people in different ways and strengthen the community, uplift the community, support small businesses, support our children, support our teachers, because everybody needs some support. Everybody needs some help because the economy is what needs some help right now, because our small businesses, our women-owned businesses, they all need different various grants, different loans. And I think when I go to Sacramento, because I'm already claiming it, when I go to Sacramento, I would like to see small businesses be supported because I'm a small business owner with my books. And I think that when we focus on that, we can have improvement in various ways.
Right, right. I think, and I definitely would, and I'm saying this, number one, you have my vote. Let me say
Thank
that.
you.
You do. I'm just impressed with everything that you've done and everything. I know when you tell me, you said you're not a starter, you're a finisher, that your goal is to finish strong and help the community. When I think that above all, you don't have to do it. You're doing
Mhm,
this out of your love for the community, out of your love for giving back. And it sounds like that's what you've been doing your whole life to me,
mhm.
is being a servant and giving back to the community. Well, I just want to thank you for all that time that you've given and still continue to give and to our community. I know too. You're also a member of a well-known sorority. We can say it. It's okay. I believe it's AKAs.
Yes.
And I didn't know if they wanted to say. I know I saw Jerry saying hi. If anybody else wanted to, okay, we have. Oh, sorry, Ruby has a comment. Hold up, we have a comment here. Hi, Ruby. Ruby is
Hello, Ruby.
she's a super fan. She is actually I don't know if she's here. She may be in Maryland. She lives in Maryland, but she does. She's bi-coastal. Let me say that. She says, enjoying the conversation as always. Thank you, Ruby. I'm currently in rehab. Oh, following foot surgery. I didn't know that. And all of the nursing staff are immigrants. Wow. New policies block immigration will impact the nursing field. Wow, wow, wow. Ruby. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say a prayer for your healing of your foot. I didn't know about it, but I know knowing you, you'll be up and around in no time. I think some people are just holding their breath until they feel like this administration, there'll be a new administration coming in. I'll say that at the end of this term. But I think we still need to act. I don't think we can wait on that. But
Mm-hmm.
because time is, as they say, time waits for no one. So,
Absolutely.
how,
And I know the incumbent was in support, the incumbent that I'm running against, he was in support of ICE breaking down people's doors without a warrant.
wow. I've never, anyway, I'm a retired history teacher. So when I see the things I'm seeing now, which I know are against our Constitution, it's amazing to me. It's amazing. I pray we can get back to some kind of normalcy because otherwise this will become our normal.
Well, this is these some of these things are just unconstitutional.
They are.
And like I said, I'm coming out of retirement because I took an oath to the Constitution. Um, and I cannot stand by and watch what's happening. And I think it's important to make sure that all people are protected
Yeah.
and everyone has rights on this soil. And I
Right.
think it's important to make sure that all populations are protected.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think it's to see what we've seen, people being killed. It's horrific. It's horrific. That's what I would say. So I definitely would like to, like I said, throw our between me and my husband our voting power behind your candidacy for to go to Sacramento and represent this area. But I was not aware that this area was you said a medical
A
or
healthcare desert,
I
yes.
didn't I maybe because I have Kaiser, so I'm thinking I can just go to Kaiser, but everybody can't go to Kaiser.
But even at Kaiser, they're still struggling. And you notice, I mean, you can go to urgent care anytime, but you notice that sometimes you have to wait to get in to see your primary care provider.
Yes, without a doubt.
So yes, I trust me, I retired from Kaiser. They
Okay.
are still struggling. And so they need doctors too. And the
Oh,
reality is that right now the medical field is on fire and it is about to be a knockout crisis because we need to attract more people to the IE. UCR needs to have the hospital built and we need to have more clinics and we need to be able to provide for more people. And the IE is growing and we
oh,
just don't and we just don't have enough medical providers and we
yeah.
need to be able to address this issue and it's something that no one is actively talking about.
Right now, is there a plan to build a hospital at UCR?
UCR is trying to get funding for it,
Wow. Okay.
but I
Okay.
don't think no one is addressing it strongly enough.
Well, see, I didn't even know there were plans to build a hospital. There's definitely a need, without a
Oh,
doubt. I
yes.
didn't know that was in the plan. I knew they have medical students, but I didn't. I think they're using clinics. Is that?
Yes,
I
they're using community clinics that are already in existence. but that's
Okay.
still not enough because we need to, and those students are probably going to leave the area and get a job. But we need something here locally to keep people locally, to practice locally. And what I would envision is going to Sacramento, establishing type of grants that will make people want to stay. And it will be tied to the type of grants that people utilize and the type of incentives to make the people stay and practice in the area if they accept these type of grants and loans.
Right. Well, I definitely agree. I'm hoping that they do. I know at one time they were talking about law school, but I think that kind of went by the wayside. I haven't heard that in a while, but I definitely know that I'm glad to hear that there are at least talks of a hospital. Usually that's where it starts, and then they get into the fundraising and that kind of thing. So we'd love to have that. Well, I would tell you, Dr. Tiffanie, it has been a pleasure to have you here as a special guest on the show. But I would like to, I don't want you to leave or anything, but I want to give you a chance. If you have something that you'd like to share with our audience and we just haven't had a chance to touch on it, I'd like to give you this opportunity to do that.
Yes. First, I want to say thank you for allowing me to come on your show. It has been my ultimate pleasure to speak to you as well as your listeners. And I just want to say that I am truly honored to be here today.
Thank
And I want to let you know that as a physician who is coming out of retirement to represent you and all of the people within the district. And I would love for you to visit my website and learn a little bit more about me at votedrtate.com and consider sowing a seed, making a donation, and bringing your friends out to vote on both, not just one time, but both times, June 2nd and November 3rd, because sharing is caring. Share this show and make sure that you show up and show out at the polls. And remember to vote early if you vote by mail, because we don't know what's going to happen. You want to make sure that you are registered to vote. And if you know someone who is not registered to vote, please get them registered to vote, because we need you to have a say in your future, because we are only going to save ourselves. Nobody's going to do it for us.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you for being here. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you, but I also want to, and I'm going to have Dr. Tiffanie stay on for a moment, because this Sunday, those of you that say, oh, I've been wanting to write a book. How do I write a book? How do I get started? There's a free workshop. And I do this, I usually do about one a year. I'm just be honest and say that. I may do two, but this is a one for the beginning of the year, I can tell you. And I'm going to put the link in. Here we go. There we go. I think is that right? I hope I got it right. It's Sunday the 20th. It's the 22nd. I'm wrong. I think Sunday's the 22nd. Monday's the 23rd. So I'm wrong. It's Sunday the 22nd.
It's Sunday the 22nd.
I got the date wrong. That's on me. Hold on. Let me go and change that for you guys. And I'm saying this because, ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity. Free information. All you have to do is come. It's going to be a link. It'll be a Zoom. Hold on. I'm trying to get it. Did I do it right?
It says the 22nd, but it got rid of everything.
Thank you. And if you're not on the email list, send me an email. Send it to Mary@MaryDWelch. You can send it there, and I will put you on the email list. Or you can put your cell phone in there, and you'll get a text message. But it's this coming Sunday. It's from 3 p.m. to 4:30 for those of you. And I'm going to say PST, because as you know, YouTube goes worldwide, but it's Pacific Standard Time. It's an hour, really an hour for me to go over it with you, and then a Q&A for 30 minutes. So if you've ever wanted to write a book, it may be something you've been just in the back of your mind. You said the first of the year, you have an idea, you don't know where to get started. Come to the free workshop. I can tell you right now, the goal is to get you started. I'm not saying you're going to write the book that day, but I promise you, you won't be there saying, I don't know how to get started. I don't know what to do, that kind of thing. And that's important to me, because as we all know, that we have one life to live. And when I tell you, and that's what I say about Dr. Tiffanie, she's taking advantage of that time. She hasn't just sat there talking about that time. She's doing a lot with it. But anyone can do this, ladies and gentlemen. And don't tell me, well, I don't have good grammar. I don't know where the comma goes or the period goes. That's why you have editors, ladies and gentlemen. You have people that love doing that, by the way. What the key for you is, you need to have a story. That's really it. If you have a story, we can make it happen. So I just want everybody to know. Let me go in and put my number in there too, for anybody that, let me see, what's it? Myself, I said the number. I'll just give it to you. Area code 619-669-8603. I'm going to say it again. Area code 619-669-8603. This a free workshop. If you know someone that's wanting to write a book, like someone put in there, they said, what about cookbooks? Cookbooks are good too. A cookbook, a children's book, a book of poetry, a fiction, a nonfiction, your autobiography, all of those. I can tell you how to write them. I know you're going to be shocked, because you're going to find out it's not as hard as you think it is. But I just want to tell all of you, thank you for being here today. We will be back next week. And thank you again, Dr. Tiffanie, for taking time out of your busy schedule, because I can only imagine running for office, what that's like. But thank you for being here again. It really is appreciated.
Thank you for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week, same time. God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye, everybody.